Hello, Cecil speaking.
Hello, it's the Prime Minister.
Good morning, Mr. Prime Minister. Thank you for finding the time to chat with us this morning.
That's great. Fire away.
One of your main highlights of last night's budget was your government's projection to return to surplus. What does this mean for Australian families and how will it reduce financial stress for taxpayers?
What it means is that Australians will be able to keep more of what they earn. I know that Australians are working incredibly hard, particularly not only those who are working for others, but those who are working for themselves, running their own small and family businesses. And I know particularly through the Chinese Australian community, this is one of the most entrepreneurial, hard-working communities we have across Australia. And what this budget means for them is the extra effort they'll put in, which I know they will put in for them and their families. They will be able to keep more of the reward for that effort, which is a fundamental conviction that we have as a government, that we want to back Australians, those who are entrepreneurial, those who are investing, those who are working hard, to keep doing that, because that's what's making our economy strong, it's what's making our budget strong, which means we can invest, I know, in the healthcare and the education services that I know families are very keen to have in place.
Whilst you have announced tax cuts to income earners, wage growth still remains slow in relation to the cost of living. How do you plan to tackle this?
Well, the only way you can increase wages is by ensuring the businesses that people work for are doing better. And businesses will not do better if they're paying more taxes. They will not do better if their costs of running their business because of Labor's reckless emissions targets, their new carbon tax, which will increase the price on everything. If you've got to pay $36 billion out the door to buy carbon credits from overseas, then that's not money you can use to invest in your business and pay higher wages. The way to have higher wages is to ensure that our businesses are doing well. Those who are on the lowest wages in this country predominantly work for small and family businesses. And for small and family businesses to do better, that means then they're in a stronger position to support wages growth in our economy. You don't grow wages by taxing businesses more.
With your proposed cut to immigration intake, along with low unemployment rates, would there be enough workers for your proposed national infrastructure plan?
I believe so. The budget provides for 80,000 new apprentices to be trained, and the changes we've made to the migration intake are a reduction in the cap. Now, as you probably know, the current permanent migration intake is running at about the level that we've reduced the cap to. So I don't expect there to be any impact on the economy or on skills needs at all there. We continue to run a very active program when it comes to temporary skills, migration, and a very active program when it comes to our education sector. Remember that international students are also permitted to work, and so that provides opportunities, and we've got the incentives to get them into the parts of the country where the jobs are and where the need is greatest.
This is clearly a spending budget. Given the large percentage of Chinese Australians run small businesses, like you mentioned, how would this budget actually benefit them?
Well, I'd say it's an investment budget. That's the way I describe it. Investing in the things that grow our economy, and that's why it's good for small and family businesses. By investing in ensuring that the infrastructure that they need to ensure that they can spend time on site and with their clients and with their businesses rather than stuck in traffic. The fact that they can get to work sooner and safer and get home sooner and safer with the congestion-busting infrastructure that we're investing in. I think that is really important for those businesses. The small business and medium-sized business instant asset write-off, which means you can write off items of multiple, as many as you like, of up to 30,000 for any individual item, and that now is extended to businesses up to 50 million. That takes a real pressure off small businesses looking to invest in their growth and take more people on. By contrast, the Labor Party wants to put up taxes on small and family businesses. They want to put an imposition on the costs of running businesses through their reckless emissions targets when it comes to carbon taxes. And thirdly, they want to impose by legislation unrealistic wage outcomes, which will force small and family businesses to lay off workers to pay others more. And I don't think any Australian wants a wage increase paid for by one of their workmates having to get sacked.
The Treasurer announced a $3.5 billion climate solutions package last night. With climate change being set to be a key election issue, do you think this is sufficient?
Yes, I do. And Australia has a great track record on meeting our emissions reductions targets. We will be one of few countries in the developed world that will exceed our Kyoto 2020 targets, and that puts us in a very strong position to meet our 2030 targets. What our plan for the climate is doing is ensuring we meet our emissions reduction targets and we keep our economy strong. What the Labor Party is proposing to do will put the price on everything up. It'll put the price on everything up by increasing the cost base of everything that is produced in this country. That's bad news for families. It's going to cost workers about $9,000 a year, ultimately in wages each year. Going to cost the economy about $500 billion over the next decade, and it's going to see jobs not created because of a weaker economy. And so you've got to get the balance between keeping your economy strong and meeting your environmental obligations, and I think we've struck the right balance.
And lastly, Mr. Morrison, with this budget, are you confident that your party will retain government at the next election?
I'm confident we've got the right plan for Australia's future, for a stronger economy that guarantees the essential services that Australians rely on. And I believe Australians will respond positively to that plan because it is a positive plan. Australians work hard. Australians of Chinese heritage, they work very hard, and they've invested a great deal in the success of this country. And I want to continue to lead a government that is rewarding people who work hard in this country, and that they can share in the benefits through improved services, and that they don't face the cost of higher taxes. What we're offering is a stronger economy with guaranteed funding for essential services without increasing taxes and without slugging the economy with wrecking ball emissions reduction cuts, which will only make life harder for everybody.
Prime Minister, thank you so much for your time. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye.